Hello, Global She Circle, where she stands for support, harmony, and empowerment. Today, I have a beautiful friend who I have known at least over a year. She is an awesome soul. I'm so excited to have her here for you guys to get to see who she is and what she does in this beautiful world of us. Luana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Luana, first of all, tell us where you're tuning in from.
From a very small island on the west coast of British Columbia called Galliano Island. We only have 1,000 people who live here. We don't even have a bank. It's so small.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. And I bet it's a cool place to be in
Beautiful
because I
natural.
already kind of there, so I can't wait to get on into all of that. So let's get on with this. So Luana, tell us what are you so passionate about these days? Who Luana is, and what are you so passionate about these days?
I'm passionate about empowering women in particular. I've been working with women with trauma for over 30 years, but now expanding beyond that, just empowering souls to find their resilience and resourcefulness in these times that are really pressing and causing a lot of fear and causing a lot of stuff to come to the surface that when we're comfortable is not there. And so we all have trauma to varying degrees. It's a spectrum. And when we have trauma, that means when certain situations arise, we get activated in our limbic brain and we lose contact of reasoning and thinking and the ability to problem solve. So I specialize in helping with women who have trauma to regain the capacity to, even if they're triggered, to come to their frontal cortex and realign their mindset in a way that gives them strength through connecting to their resilience and the natural force of nature within them that knows no matter what happens, I can grow, I can learn. And so empowering people to that position in life, it just lights me on fire because it's possible. I've worked with thousands of women already, they've done that. And now, but expanding beyond just working with women, just souls, human beings that are struggling, and life is hard, life is messy, life is confusing. And so to share the tools that I have in this new world experience is really a joyful and exciting thing for me.
So why are you so passionate about this? I mean, this work. I mean, the work is awesome. I mean, from what you're saying, it sounds fascinating, and it's also so fantastic to be able to have some skills and some tools and some remedies and some ways to be able to do that. But why are you so passionate about it?
Well, because I had to build myself through my own traumas. That's what I had to do first. And one of the things that's really got me going this more is my sister, she didn't make it out of the traumas and she died a few years ago. And so I got to see the effect of when we don't know that we have that resilience, when we don't know that there's a way, life is lost. And she was a beautiful, creative soul. And so that became my bigger mission. I've been doing this work for 30 years already because I want people to feel the freedom that I've learned and I've gained, and the empowerment that I've learned and I've gained, and it's possible. But when my sister died, that just like drove it home even more, because the tools are there, the abilities are there, we have that inner resourcefulness, but there's things we have to learn to recognize and see and take that mastery over our triggers and our emotions so that we can embody our soul. So for me, that's what life has taught me. And, I had always had a soul connection my whole life. I've always been a visionary. I've always had a spiritual connection, but my triggers would hijack me. And they would take me out of alignment with who I am. And I'd ask, how did that happen? Where did I go? Where do I go? That's not me. And that's what drove me to travel the world, study with a lot of different teachers, from psychotherapeutic body work training in Germany to movement therapy in Israel to, Hawaii with Kahuna elders. I've done so much research for my own self first. And I've been able to put pieces together that work universally. Doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter what beliefs, there is a universality in the way life has brought me to bring some of the key universal principles that govern all life, to deliver those to people that they can actually use them practically. So they're grounded both in science and spirituality and metaphysics. And so, yeah, that's my why. It's too many people are suffering, and too many women have amazing gifts to bring to this world, but the trauma dialogues, the trauma trances, the trauma voices inside, and the limbic brain reactivity of losing self-trust, not having enough self-confidence, feeling not worthy, feeling not lovable, feeling not enough. It's stopping these gifts from being born. My sister was an amazing artist. She was a spiritual woman. She could paint an animal and you felt the essence of that animal coming out of the eyes. And so that was just like, wow, and I tried everything I could to share, but she had, bless her heart, she had a pride that wouldn't let her let other people know she needed help. And it's normal, because when we've had trauma, we need to feel we can control our world. And to let somebody in means I have to let down my guard and I have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And so this is a threshold that a lot of us, I was there, a lot of women in particular have, and it's like we need to be willing to say I don't know. But we're so needing to say I know to feel safe and survive that we don't know how to say and admit we don't know. That we don't know what we don't know. And this is where my sister got lost. She had her own spiritual insight, and some of it was accurate, but it got distorted by her traumas and her survival.
So true.
So instead of leading her spirituality, instead of leading her deeper into herself to meet her vulnerability and her pain in order to heal it, it actually created a facade of spirituality, which you could have a conversation with her and makes sense. Sounds like she's a very self-aware person. But that self-awareness ended up being her shield from her true self. And it's all understandable. None of this is judgment. I had that too. There was a moment I recognized when I was in Berlin one day doing my healing work. I was studying with an energy healer. And then I was climbing up the stairs to my loft bed. And I just had this awareness of, oh my God, I'm using my spirituality to hide my shadow. And that was like a huge transformation for me. Like I was 27 when that happened. I'm 54 now. So from 27 till 54, I've been decoding my own unconscious mind. And through that, it's helped me to help other people to decode theirs as well. But that was a transformational moment. I went, okay, I got to be mindful of this. And where do I defend and what do I defend? And understanding that what I defend, I get to keep. So when I defend my limitations, I get to keep them. But what about starting to defend my possibilities instead? So these are insights that have guided me continually to this moment in time, where through following all of that guidance, through healing that, I'm living my dream life. I'm living in my dream retreat center that years ago I was just praying on the mountaintops for. But I was not in a state of an alignment that I could actually do it, right? But through doing our inner healing work, that's how we bring ourselves into soul alignment. And that's when our visions can come to reality. This is what life has taught me. I have to bring myself into alignment through recognizing my shadows, through loving them, not judging them, through embracing them, through saying, hey, thank you, shadow, you shielded me. I needed you for a time because I couldn't meet this truth. Thank you.
Yeah.
Giving reverence to that part of us. But until meeting these parts of me, there's no way that the life I'm living now that I longed for ever could have come to be. And so for me, mind mastery, this is what I've done. I master my emotions. My triggers no longer take me. There's triggers. There's going to be triggers as long as we're alive. That's a part of life. That's when two contrasts are meeting, right? They're rubbing like two sticks. So triggers are essential. We need them because we grow.
Yeah.
The thing is to understand that so that triggers no longer take us out of alignment, but they engage us to look deeper, to be curious, to inquire, to speak up, to uncover, so that we can see what is the catalyst of this friction wanting to bring to life in me in awareness and understanding. So then we're using everything. So this is what I've done. I've used every single trigger and pain. I was, my mother left when I was 7. My sister had a horseback accident when she was 7 as well. When she was 12 in the same year. So I lost my mother and my sister the same year because my sister was in a coma for almost 6 months afterwards. She had to learn to walk, talk, eat, right? Everything all over again. So that was my foundational. Then there was abuses that took place. My mother, God bless her, she's passed on now. Her survival locked her in a narcissistic personality. So there was constant abuse my entire life. So these are the things I worked through. So I don't say this lightly. I've come to a place of embracing the duality and embracing the gift of the contrast that comes, including the pain. And when we can do that, we have a capacity to meet life in a state of power and presence rather than avoidance or fear. So I don't know if that answers why I do this, but that is why.
Because it definitely does. It definitely does. And it's, on average, I think as women, we all experience what all that you said in some level of experience. And so I think and I'm pretty sure a few men do that too. But I think the woman, because of the way that society have shifted, and because of the way that people have been programmed, and as you said, some of these defense mechanisms were there for a reason to begin with, but then
we needed them,
and there is no need for them. That's the problem.
Well, there's a need until we know how to bring ourselves into vulnerability while staying safe. And that's where understanding a lot of these universal life principles, they help us connect to that deeper presence of existence that is within us and around us, that is always safe. But we have to be able to be vulnerable, and that's hard. It's not easy. It's the hardest thing to do, really.
Just for the audience to sort of resonate with the work that you're doing, would you give us some example of when people come to you, let's say when the woman, maybe one or two women, one of your two or one or two of your examples come to you, what do they come to you for? Because sometimes people come to you for one reason, but that's actually not the issue. The issue is either deeper or the issue is sideways. So what do they come to you with? What issue they come to you with? And then do you have a framework that you work with them, or do you have a process? If you could kind of give us in a nutshell what that is, then what's the end product? Like what happens on the other side?
So the most common clients that come to me, souls that come to me, are women that are actually also healers, entrepreneurs, leaders, visionaries. I've also worked with teenagers. Recently, I helped a 17-year-old girl step away from the idea of suicide and to find her path. So I can really work with anybody. But the majority of the women are women who have a higher understanding. They're intuitive. They have an empathy, but in the world, they've always been shunned. They've always been told they're stupid, or they don't make sense, or that they're too sensitive, or that they're too woo-woo, or whatever, right? So a lot of the women are in that state, and some of them are very powerful women. I've worked with CEOs and things like that too. But everybody has that kind of trauma of self-worth or doubt when they go to a next level in their evolution. We all have it. And so I have a process, I call it the PAL system, how to be your best pal. So as you're going through the triggers and the challenges and meeting the darkness and everything. And so I help them to come into a different state of presence in themselves. So they step away from their story and they get aligned in presence, in being now. Because as long as we're in our story, we're either in the past or the future. We're not present. But the only way to be present is to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So I'm trained in traditional Hawaiian healing, and I use the delivery system of their key 8 principles to do this. So for an example, one of the principles, the main one, is manava. It doesn't mean it is now, it means I am now. It's recognizing I am this force of creation in this moment, and I am creating in this moment through every thought, through every feeling that I'm rippling into the field of intelligence and life. I am creating. So what am I creating?
Wow.
What am I creating from this trigger? Am I creating a story that perpetuates the pain of the trigger? Or am I aligning with a deeper truth of understanding that contrast is a part of our evolution? Without it, we don't grow. There's nothing new. And do I embrace that and say, okay, put on my curiosity glasses and what is this teaching me? What is this bringing out in me? Who do I become in this situation? And does that feel in alignment with my soul and how I think I know myself? Or is it taking me out of alignment? Is it evolving me or devolving me? Is it expanding me or is it contracting me? These are the observations I invite my clients to observe. Also finding ways with how there's wording that we use that keeps us stuck. So getting to know that, and each person, I can do it on the foot, on the cuff with people when they're with me. It's like, do you know that when you're saying that, you're actually keeping that pattern in place?
That's true.
Versus giving it the opportunity to evolve. Because everything is here to evolve. Every pattern is here to evolve. There's new levels, like a video game. This is how I view it. Right? And then, so everything that I learned in the last section of the video game, okay, now I'm going to be in a new level of the video game. I apply that, but then I have to learn more. Right? But one of the self-defeating habits that I used to get caught in, and that a lot of my clients get caught in, well, but I did all that work already. Why can't I access it now? Or why am I still triggered? And I say, well, you mastered that level of the trigger. But there's obviously another level. So I have this joke I've said to myself for years. There's like elective courses and there's PhDs and master classes in our triggers. Right? And so some of our things are master classes, are masters, right? Or our PhDs, right? So, and those take deeper. Those are more like tubular rooted traumas. If you know gardening, tubular plants, it's almost impossible to get rid of them unless you get to the right core of it, the first starting point of it. Otherwise, you can chop it away, you can dig it up and chop it away, but it will always find a way to grow back. Because that's the nature of a tubular. So some of our trauma triggers are like tubulars until we get to the core. But each level and layer we go to, we do get closer. And then eventually it is possible to say, I gotcha. Yeah. Bless you. Thank you. No, thank you anymore. And then it's
a thing to observe. Such a beautiful thing to observe when we get to work with those triggers and go a level deeper. And then it gets to a point that it almost becomes comical. It's like, oh no, that's exactly. And then it's like, okay, where do I need to go? Where do I need, and as Einstein says, to solve a problem, is to be above the problem. You cannot solve the problem from the same level as created. You gotta raise above it or go deeper in it. Yes. So you do that PAL process. So its first one is the presence, and then awareness. So I come into presence, and when I'm present, I can be aware. And I liken it like when you're driving, right? You're seeing the scenery, but you're not seeing it up close. Being present is stopping the car, getting out of the seat, and really paying attention to what's there.
so I can gain awareness. What is this inner environment I'm in? What is it activating? What is it catalyzing? What is the texture? What is the taste? And then I become aware, wow, okay, I'm feeling irritated, but what's irritating me? Oh, I don't feel safe. And I go a level deeper. I don't feel safe. What about this isn't making me feel safe? And then we come to our jackpot point. And then that's when things shift. So when we have that awareness, that layer where we are shifts, right? Or, I mean, I've had things that in the past would cripple me for weeks. And now it's like, oh, nothing, right? And there's other things that, even though, like, might really honestly triggering, doesn't happen as often, but when it does, it's because it's reaching a core. And then all my previous experience of navigating all the other layers gives me the insight how to navigate that core better.
And those are usually with the close loved ones.
Those are always with intimate relationships, because nothing gets to our vulnerability more than an intimate relationship, family or our partner or our children, right? They've got the automatic doorway to our heart without any, filters, right? So that's why they can go right in there, or it can rattle it up, right? So then the more, and also raising our son, my husband and I, whenever he would trigger us, we're like, okay, wait a minute, let's look in. What is the trigger? And we always found something from our own childhood that was in relationship to sometimes being, like, well, I wasn't allowed to feel that, so he can't feel that, right? Or something like that, right? And so there's all these different layers, right? As a parent, we're required to level up every single moment of every day as a parent. That is the job of a parent, to level up, to meet their child and hold that space and be accountable and not project our junk on them. And that's learning. So that's another one of my schools of learning. And our son is our biggest teacher, and it's just incredible, right? So when we become aware of what is it that's pulling that cord, what is it that's bringing me into the tubular again? What is making this tubular keep growing? What did I miss? And that takes awareness. But to be aware, we have to be present first.
And what is the L?
Love and letting go. Bringing love to everything we see. Bringing love to every wound, every pain, every trauma, every hurt, so that our inner little child can feel the nurturance and support that he needed. We become the parent. And with that, the letting go, then we let go, and we let life, and we let love. And for me, I like let God.
Wow. That is, I mean, every one of them by themselves, every of the PAL, every one of them by themselves are healing. And then when you put all three together, it becomes really potent and really, really to the point. So, it's such an awesome thing for people who get to play with you, to work with you. So I would encourage the audience to come back to this interview, the ones who are watching live or the ones that come back later, to make sure they check the comment section, because Luannah is going to share with us whatever it is that she wants to share. I mean, she does retreats, she does workshops, she has a book, I know that, and she has she wants to share her time, her schedule for booking. Whatever she shares, you guys got to tap into it and check it out. So Luannah, is there anything else that you want to say as a last minute nugget? I mean, you already dropped so many, but if there's anything else that you want to share with the audience before we say goodbye.
To grow the observation, to be able to identify the difference between your soul communicating and your storic. A big difference in visceral sensation. When there's a trigger, what's my soul? My soul will always expand me. It won't narrow and contract my view. It will expand it. It will nourish it. a story will contract, and we kind of neuralize ourselves. We repeat the same lines again and again and again and again. Well, da 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 da. We neuralize ourselves. And for me, that is a sign like of a really deep pain that's needing to be witnessed, of a part of us that needs to be held to get out of that loop. And the metaphor, if I have just another moment to share, is when I lived in Thailand many years ago in my 20s. It's where I started studying yoga and meditation and movement therapy. I had a little wild puppy. It was a mama had puppies, and I had this little wild puppy, and it was my companion through so much stuff. And on my last day, when I had to leave, there was a wild dog in the area, and if a puppy went in that area, it would attack it, right? And so the puppy always would stay at my cabin and never followed me, but somehow I think he knew that I was leaving. So I went to cross the road to go to my yoga teachers, and my little puppy followed me. And all of a sudden I heard, "Help!" And I saw the big dog. It grabbed its neck and was shaking him. And I went and I chased the dog, and I got him to let him go. And puppy, in his confusion, I was trying to put my hand down. He bit me. I still have a little scar here, because he was in the frenzy of trauma, frenzy of shock. And many years later, when I was healing, I woke up and went, wow, I've been in that frenzy of shock and I didn't know it. When we get caught in the tumultuousness of the story and the pain, and it's like we get so exhausted too. So the moment when we can deepen through the PAL system, through anything, if it's not the PAL, then something that brings you home to your unique, authentic soul sovereignty and power, the story quiets, the volume goes down. The frenzying images fade away, and you land in your soul, and that's where your sovereignty is. That's where our power is, to develop that presence and awareness, to show up with love and kindness everywhere and with everyone, because we're all just souls on our journey home. We all have our different curriculum, and we're all here to catalyze each other in good ways, and yeah, sometimes uncomfortable and painful ways too. But when I look through life at that lens, then I can honor all creation. I can honor everything that's going on in the world and see it as a part of the pattern of unbecoming in order to become. So that would be the thought I would like to leave you with.
Thank you so much, Luannah. This was fantastic. And I trust that whoever gets to watch this now, later in the future, would definitely benefit from the conversations and see themselves in places that they want to be looking into what it is that you're doing at the moment and what it is that you're offering. So again, check the comments. Make sure you check the comments. Make sure you come back and see how you can connect with Luannah and tap into this awesome soul's wisdom. And
Can I share just one last piece that just came in?
Sure.
When your triggers come up, or you see triggers in people, love them, honor them, their growth. There's something looking to grow and to come into clarity. Too many people say, well, you're triggered, or they get judgmental towards self or another. Drop it. It's an invitation to grow. It's an invitation to learn. It's an invitation to meet deeper. We need triggers. We need to meet them with consciousness and awareness, presence and awareness. We need that. And when we do, that's when the magic just like, wow, it just unfolds, both in ourselves and in our relationships.
Yes. So everything is either love or cry for love. And the response to both is love. So yes. So be it. Thank you so much. Hey, so hang in there, Luannah. I'm going to say goodbye to the audience. Hey, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, tap into this wisdom and check Luannah's information and see what resonates with you, and see if there's a possibility for you to work with her. I'll see you all later, and thank you for being here.